Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the Creators Series of the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Church. Jay is out again today, but I was able to interview an indie artist this week named Chuck Dolo. He's from Richmond, Virginia. He is a lyrical hip-hop artist. He has an EP coming out this summer called Amnesia. We had a chance to talk about that. We had a chance to talk about Richmond, Virginia, the hip-hop history of Richmond, and kind of where that's headed. We had a chance to talk about his crew and everyone in it and how important that has been to him. And we talked about a lot of really dope stuff. I'm not really going to talk about everything right here in the intro. We're just going to get right into it. This is one of my favorite episodes so far. So without further ado, episode 3, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Church. Jay is not with us today. He will be back again next week. But today we are joined by a special guest from Richmond, Virginia. His name is Chuck Dolo. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. I'm glad you reached out.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I wanted to start off today. We kind of start every episode off with kind of tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know, kind of those who are unfamiliar with you. So who is Chuck Dolo?
Okay, so I am an artist from Richmond, Virginia. So I mostly do rap music, but art also encompasses stuff like poetry for me. So I just say I'm an artist from Richmond, Virginia. I've lived here for more than half of my life, and yeah, man, I'm just trying to chase the dream. I just graduated college, so I'm just an artist right now, just kind of in the beginning of stages, building myself up.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, I didn't know how old you were. I don't think we ever had the conversation about like how old you were or anything.
Yeah, so 21 years old.
That's dope. So you're a little younger than me, actually. I'm 22, about to be 23. So that's pretty dope, though, that you got all that stuff you're doing already. So, and that's good. You finished school and everything. So that's nice. I wasn't that lucky, so I gave up on it like halfway. But that's good for you, man.
Appreciate that.
I want to ask you kind of about where your mental state is right now. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now that's kind of, all over the place, and a lot of people are kind of on uncertain times and everything. So I kind of wanted to pick your brain as to what are you doing to kind of help your mental state and kind of keep sane, you think? Like, is there anything new you're doing? Or?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot going on in the world. Especially with, the virus. Things are kind of, opening up. So I've been at home for all of quarantine. So in terms of that, I really have just been trying to keep myself busy, doing little hobbies, playing video games, things like that, exercising and writing music, of course. And then, with the most recent events, with, the uproar that's been going on in the country, that's been it's been really difficult to kind of see everything unfold with that. And I'm definitely in support of all the movements and stuff like that. So, just been, trying to just channel my energy into positive ways, trying to find different ways to give back. And, just a good thing for me is also trying to, communicate with people that I haven't communicated with in a while. It's good to kind of, talk to your friends and, hear different people's voices and whatnot, just try to make sure everybody's good, really just try to spread as much good energy as possible is really what I've been doing.
Yeah, I know, because for me, I definitely see a lot of stuff on social media, and I know, a lot of people, they see things that they might not, agree with, and a lot of people getting into arguments and stuff, especially in the last, few weeks and things. So I just try to stay positive as well and just kind of focus on the good side and just do what you can. And hopefully just keep your energy as good as possible, and it'll all be good. And hopefully things will work out, the way that they're supposed to with where everything's headed. So that's always something we can hope for. As far as music goes, how did it start out for you? Have you been doing this since you were, very young, or did you just recently pick up music, or how did it kind of get going for you, you think?
So I really, seriously, I started it coming up, it's going to be 2 years, and it's actually, later this month it'll be about 2 years that I've been doing it seriously. So ever since I was young, I've always been interested in lyrical hip-hop. I've always loved rap music, was definitely one of my favorite hobbies and just listening. I also liked doing poetry here and there, not as often, but I like doing it when I can.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 years ago, I really just kind of, for some reason, you kind of hang out with friends, you freestyle and different things like that, and you kind of just have fun. And I just thought it was really fun, so I just, I was like, I might as well just, start writing lyrics down, and then it kind of just went on from there.
Nice. So you're still pretty new then. Do you think you've had any troubles like kind of getting your footing, or has it been pretty easy, you think, for you?
I would say it's been pretty easily. I'm pretty fortunate to be in a music scene in terms of Richmond, Virginia,
mm-hmm.
that it's thriving, but it's also on the way up. So there are so many opportunities to really showcase yourself, and so many opportunities to get better at what you're doing, while also being in an environment where you can really see the benefits of, just working hard towards your music and putting yourself out there. So I would say it's been pretty easy. And I've always, in terms of my style of music, I typically, I like to do lyrics. I like to do bars that go over people's heads, punchlines and witty lines and stuff like that. So I've always been the person to just kind of think abstractly in that regard. So something funny could happen right in front of me. I'll instantly think of a simile. What does this situation relate to? That's always just been my mindset. So when it comes to approaching lyrics, it's been pretty easy, and I've gotten better as I've
continued on.
Passed.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I know a lot of like new artists too. They have to kind of get like 4 or 5 years under their belt just to kind of get comfortable with how they feel as an artist and how they feel like putting themselves out there. Because I know it's kind of tough for some people at first doing it, but that's great to hear. Do you have like a crew or anything? Or do you have like videographers? Do you have producers, engineers? Or are you kind of like a one-man show? Like how does that work, you think, for you?
So in terms of music, I have a crew. The Second Century Studios, 2Cs. Shout out to them. Those are my guys. I met them through college, which was awesome. So that would be producer / rapper. His name is Braid Ableton. He's the one that I met that kind of introduced me to the 2Cs and whatnot. So Braid Ableton, Ill Tracks, we call him Ill T, my boy Will. He's also a producer rapper. Those two, they're so versatile. They're so skilled, and like I really learned a lot from them, and it's just fun making music with them. And then Space Davy Jones, he's another rapper in the group. So we're not a group in regards like the Migos, where we do like a whole bunch of songs together. Mm-hmm. We're a group more so like a TDE or a Dreamville, where we're kind of a part of the same
collective,
but we have our own things that we do.
It's more like a collective or like a label type deal. Kinda,
yeah.
Are they all from Richmond, or are they kind of like from other spots too?
They're from different parts. I'm pretty sure Charlottesville and Northern Virginia, I think. So we're all from Virginia, which is awesome, because we share that passion to really bring Virginia up in terms of the music scene.
Yeah, that's very good then, I think, because I know for like what me and my artists do, I think it's because of us knowing each other for so long, and we've been able to kind of have like the shared common goal of what we want to accomplish and kind of our brand and everything. So I think that always helps, because a lot of people, they'll kind of try and attach on to people that they either just met or they've only known for a very small amount of time. And I think a lot of like collectives and things don't last as long because you don't have the chemistry with people. But I think if you build the chemistry, I think it will work better. So it kind of sounds like that's...
And it definitely has to be like organic, you know, like fun. It's hard work a lot of times, but it doesn't feel like hard work, really, because it's just so fun. So definitely you're right on that.
Yep. I wanted to ask you as well about your writing process as far as the raps are concerned. Are you a freestyle type person? Can you just go in and freestyle songs, or do you need to actually sit and always write it out and really get, the thought, your mind going and the thought process going?
Yeah. In terms of freestyling, I don't usually freestyle like my actual songs. I love freestyle. It's fun. Just great creative exercise, and it's always fun to just kind of hang out with your friends and do that. Mm-hmm. But in terms of actually putting lyrics on songs, the way my process is, when I first started, I would write my stuff down on like a notepad, sometimes my phone, and I kind of developed a strategy where I just write it in my head, essentially. So a beat might be playing, and, you know, I'm just kind of vibing with the beat. I'll come up with a bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars. I'll kind of, you know, put them together in my head, rehearse them, and then I'll have 16 bars, and I can just recite them because it's already in there. So that's kind of my process.
Nice. I know everybody kind of has a different approach to it, because I've heard some people that they're able to just go in, and it's always kind of baffled me, the people that can go in and not write down anything and just come out with great songs. Like, I don't even know how you would even approach that. Like, me personally, I never even tried to do any, like, the artist thing, because I'm terrible at writing, and, like, I can't rhyme anything or anything like that. So it kind of baffles me how people are able to do it. But I think whatever works for you as an individual, that's what you got to figure out and what you got to kind of attach to. So, yeah, it's
definitely.
super dope. What would you say, like, who are people that inspire you in music? Who kind of influences what you do as far as your style goes? Who do you listen to a lot?
When I initially started rapping, because I've grown an interest for so many different artists over the years, even as I've done music. So I would say initially, people like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, they're obviously well known, but I really see their words as like images, and the types of witty lines that they can come up with really inspires me, and it's just awesome. So people like that, definitely people like Jadakiss. I love New York rappers.
It's funny because sorry to interrupt you. It's funny because I was listening to some of your stuff on Instagram, and you reminded me of Jadakiss or like Raekwon or somebody, and I was actually going to bring up Jadakiss, and that's funny that you listened to him. That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, I definitely appreciate that. That's one of the best compliments, because he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. Yep. I just really love his music, and, you know, he's definitely someone who inspires me a lot.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty funny, though, because I thought that I was actually scrolling through your Instagram earlier today again, and I heard one of your ciphers, and I was like, oh, it kind of sounds like Jadakiss or like Raekwon or someone. It's who that reminds me of. So that's dope, man.
I love when people say stuff like that. Like, I've had people say that before, and it's an awesome compliment. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, dude. What do you think the best piece of advice you've been given so far as career goes, like your music? Has anyone given you anything that you've kind of held close and kind of took an understanding to as far as how to approach your career, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the great thing about music is that there's so many different approaches to it. You know, people could be rapping because it's fun. They just want to rap about partying and, you know, doing all types of different fun things, and that's okay. Some people want to tell real life stories, inspire people. They want to help people. So I think that, you know, it really comes into different approaches. I'll bring up my boy Braid Ableton again. He met me because he heard one of my songs, and it was about a car accident that I was in. And when he listened to the song, he was just like, wow, he really felt it. He enjoyed the story I was telling, and he could really feel like how I truly felt about that incident just through my lyrics and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely say, you know, he's pushed me to be an artist, not in every single song, but definitely to more often make songs that relate to people, and you know, just songs that people can truly feel, because it really is a different type of feeling when you listen to a song and you don't expect to hear something that you can relate to, and you're just like, wow, like this definitely makes sense to me. So I would definitely say just, you know, trying to take different approaches. Also, just another piece of advice is just, you know, making sure I do it for the right reasons. You know, some people might do it for money. Some people might do it just because it's fun. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any one right reason, but I would say that, you know, them telling me to, you know, make sure I stick with the reasons that I started with is always good, because, you know, the reason that you started it really fuels your passion and whatnot. So I would say those two pieces of advice.
Yeah, I definitely think like purpose is something that keeps us going, especially as creators. Because I know a lot of times I myself haven't struggled with it a ton, but I see so many people that I follow and like even that I look up to, and they like tweet out and they're like, I feel creatively drained, or I just feel drained because I feel like I'm running in circles and there's no real purpose to what I'm doing anymore. And a lot of people will tell them just figure out why. You got to remember like how you started and why you started, and try and get back to the idea of that and do it for the reasons you were doing it for to begin with, and it'll start making sense again. So I think that's
I
important
agree.
to kind of like recharge your batteries both creatively and kind of like in your mission. So
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely dope. Do you have any dream collaborators that you would ever want to do a song with?
That is a great question. I have thought about this on many occasions. There's so many I can name. I'll name like probably like two or three. One I would say is Dave East. Dave East is like one of my favorite current rappers right now, and he's so skilled. He's lyrical and he's versatile. He can get on any type of beat, and his songs are just fun. I really enjoy listening to his music. So Dave East is definitely someone I would want to do a song with. I would say I would throw Jadakiss in there too, just because he's one of the people that inspired me, and it would just be fun to just be lyrical with someone like Jadakiss. And then maybe one more. I would say J. Cole, because I've just listened to his music for so long. He's also one of those people that's versatile, and it would just be amazing to just be in a creative environment with someone like that. So he would be my third.
I know Jay, who does this podcast with me, if he was here, he'd love that answer because J. Cole's like his favorite artist. Like he's the biggest J. Cole guy I know. I think he listens to Dave East too a little bit, so I think he would definitely like the answers. I listen to Cole a good amount. I haven't listened to much Dave East, but what I've heard I enjoyed from him. So he's definitely pretty dope. I know you were talking about your poetry earlier, and I know I saw on your Instagram, I saw you had, I think it was a few months where you were reading poems. I wanted to know, are those your poems, or are those just poems you found that you like, or is that all you're writing?
Yeah, so it was a little kind of, it would be hard, it's hard to kind of label it. I would just say, it was this thing going on for like a month. I just called it a poem a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just wake up every day, and all these poems were my own. I would write them down, and I would just wake up. I would just write a poem, and it was just something to really challenge my creativity, and kind of focus on lyrics in a way, because poetry and rap really relate to each other in the sense that it's about rhyming and about putting words together in an abstract way. So it was just challenging that, and just a way to get better and kind of switch things up, especially for the viewers that I have. People really received the poem a day well. So yeah, it was just something I did for a month, and yeah, it was definitely fun. A lot of people say that I should maybe like bring it back for like a week.
Yeah, I know I got a couple people that I follow or like am friends with that do poetry as well as music. And I know the one girl who I follow, she posts like every day. She'll post new like little stanzas and poems that she writes and stuff. I always kind of admired how I don't know if poetry, I think poetry you can get more deep with even than lyrics, because it feels like lyrics you kind of got to even trim them down a bit, trim down the fat a little bit and make it fit with music. But poetry, I think you can be a little more raw with like how you write everything. So I always thought that was pretty cool.
Definitely, I love poetry, and it's just the difference is just there's a beat with rapping, and I love beats. I love rapping on all types of beats, new school, old school, trap, boom bap, anything. But with poetry, you really have to just carry across a certain type of energy and a certain type of message with just your words. So I've always liked that difference in it too.
Yeah. I wanted to switch back to the music side, and let's talk about the business for a second. What do you think as far as like finances go? Do you think you have any struggles financially when it comes to kind of figuring out where to put your money as far as your music goes, like promotion and recording and things like that? Have you ever had any struggles with that so far?
Not necessarily so far. I would just say it's really about prioritizing what I want, like in terms of prioritizing my goals at the moment. So I really just put my goals at the forefront, and that'll kind of drive my decisions and, me being responsible and kind of putting my money into different areas that I want to thrive in. So at the moment, I'm currently working on some music, a project actually. So my main focus is just, developing the music conceptually, just writing or, just creating the lyrics and whatnot. And in terms of finances, my main priority right now would just be, getting in the studio, getting those songs recorded, finalized, mixed, mastered, and all that stuff. And then, I'll just kind of take it step by step. So once the music is done, maybe I'll put some money into making a video or two, just kind of have different variants of content. And, once I release something, I'll probably put a little bit of money into promoting it. So it's really about my goals, and I haven't had any issues with that thus far. I just definitely try to make sure I'm responsible with my money.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people kind of lack a plan, especially when it comes to releasing music. People kind of don't have a plan, or they don't have any steps to go through with, like, they think that it's just like throw something out and it'll just work. And usually you need kind of like some steps in the process as far as what you need to do to make it be successful. So I think people always skip a lot of those important steps in that.
Yeah,
but
definitely just have some type of structure. Just like it doesn't have specific, step-by-step concrete plan, but something to kind of structure it definitely always helps.
Yep. So you said you're from Richmond, Virginia. Are you from Richmond, Virginia, or are you just living in Richmond?
I'm from there.
So you're from Richmond.
I've been here my childhood, and I went to school and all that.
Nice. So you were talking about the hip-hop scene earlier. Can you kind of go a little more in detail about that? Is it more indie artists, or are there like bigger artists, or is it a little bit of both? Like, what does the scene kind of look like in Richmond right now?
Yeah, so I'll start off with like the bigger artists. Specifically, I'm not involved in that area, but there are some bigger artists like Pusha T, for example. He's from Virginia, but he just started a label called Airwave Music Group, and I've been kind of paying attention to them. And they've been, targeting different Richmond artists. So in terms of, the bigger artists, they're definitely up there just because, that's a record label. Mm-hmm. They have Pusha T backing them. But in terms of the scene that I'm involved in, for the most part in Richmond, I would say RVA Rap Elite. So, you mentioned that you've seen in my Instagram, my ciphers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. So the ciphers are RVA Rap Elite. It's a platform for independent artists to kind of just showcase your lyrics and, have some friendly competition. And that's really what I'm involved in. There's some big artists involved in that too. Like, for example, a lot of guys I look up to personally, like, Michael Millions. He's one of the biggest Richmond artists that I've heard of. He opened up for Nas last summer, which is awesome. So him, people like Radio B, he hosted it, and he runs the platform. So, artists like that, they're big in the Richmond community as well. But, as independent, I believe they are independent. But, so, yeah, I would say those are the ones in terms of the scene that all I really know about.
So it's actually pretty diverse, you'd say, then, as far as, like, compared to other cities, like, close to you, or?
I would think so, because me personally, I haven't been to every city, every state, so I can't really speak on what platforms are there or not. But especially with the RVA Rap Elite, it provides so many opportunities, and it's awesome. Like, we even just did a virtual thing with, being in quarantine. We had a March Madness tournament. MCs kind of went up against each other online. We would submit videos. People would vote on which one's the best, and eventually we got to a winner. His name's OZ. So I would definitely,
That sounds pretty cool, actually. I haven't heard of anyone doing, like, a virtual, like, battle like that, so that's actually really different.
Yeah, it was awesome. They they made a really good move by taking advantage of the circumstances, and they just capitalized on it. It was one of my favorite things about this year.
I know I've been seeing a lot of people with the virtual thing, and they're talking about concerts and stuff. I'm kind of interested to see how that goes, like in the future. Like, are shows going to come back the way like we remember them, or is it going to be something totally different? It's going to be kind of intriguing to see, and it's something like we're not really in control of, but I guess it's just going to be, I don't know, like.
Yeah, that's very interesting because there's so many different factors that go into it. Like, people definitely want to be there in person for concerts and whatnot, but, there's different benefits. Like, even though you're not in there in person, somebody, one of your favorite artists could be performing live on Instagram, and you don't even have to pay a dime to watch that. You can just tune in, Yep. So there's definitely different benefits. If I had to predict, though, I definitely think it'll go back to how it was.
I definitely hope it goes back to how it was, simply because of, like, I know I'm not really a big concert goer myself, but when I go, I like the camaraderie of, like, being with people that enjoy the same music that I do, and I like to kind of bounce. You feel the energy of just being around people. It's kind of weird to explain if, like, the people that don't go to concerts a lot and, like, are in the crowd, but I don't know. If they can't bring it back like that, I don't really see the purpose of, like, bringing it back at all, to be honest, but I just don't see how they could not bring it back in kind of the way it was. So it'll be interesting. So you said did you say you were independent, or did you say your collective is kind of like a label in itself? Is it like an official label, or do you operate as an independent artist?
Yeah, I operate as an independent artist. So our collective isn't like an official label. It's really nothing like that. We're just, to put it simply,
it's like a movement, right? It's more like a movement.
Yeah. So just to put it simply, we're just a group of people who like making music together, and like, we benefit off of each other. We have so much fun with each other. So it's really, like you said, a movement. I definitely operate independently. I handle anything that, that comes my way. That could be like any type of booking or like any features or anything like that. I handle that myself. And, it's really fun. Like, I don't know what it's like to have a manager or anybody kind of do that stuff for me. I don't think I'm ready for that yet, just because it's just really fun just to kind of politic with different people and, make plans with different people, in the industry, like locally. So, I definitely operate independently.
Do you think, how important do you think ownership is as far as being able to own all that creativity for yourself? Do you really value that right now?
I definitely value that. If it was my choice, and I was able to do music full time, make a living off of it, and thrive in it, I would definitely want to do it as an independent artist. There's so much information available now about labels and the different type of opportunities, and the negatives that kind of come with that sometimes. I really would want to own all my own art, just have all types of creative control, and, just be able to handle everything on my own with my own desire and my own passions in mind.
I think I talked on the first episode. I had a girl named Jessica Jones on here, and we were talking about the same thing. And I mentioned how a lot of people, when they think about like getting signed to like let's say a major label, for example, they just think that all the work is kind of done for you and you don't have to do much and you're just going to blow up. And that's really not how it is. It's almost like they give you a loan of money and they put faith in you to perform the way they think you're going to perform. And if not, you could end up back to square one. And if you didn't learn all the skills on how to build your own career and thrive that way, you might be done. Like, some people never recover from that. So I think it's definitely important that people at least have an understanding of what that means before you just rush into it. And it's important, like you said, to build your own thing and your own ideas and be able to kind of move your career the way you want it and kind of have all the pieces on your side of the chessboard.
Absolutely. I agree.
So, if you could go back 10 years to your past self, what do you think you would tell yourself as far as your life as like a whole?
That's a great question, because I always contemplate like, if I somehow had the ability to travel time and if I could do all that type of stuff. So I kind of go back and forth because a lot of times I do feel as if it would just be awesome if I started doing this music thing like a while ago. I really would I probably wouldn't change too much. I would really just tell myself, just kind of do whatever makes you happy. If you have a passion for something, don't be afraid to chase it. And, don't be a follower per se. Do the things you want to do. Just because I would definitely, like, the way that things have led up to this point, even though I haven't been doing it for that long, it's just been really organic. It's been awesome, and I probably wouldn't have it any other way. So I would just tell myself to just do what you want to do what your heart desires.
I know me, like, sometimes I always contemplate, like, if I had started earlier, but I don't know, for some reason I always feel if I had started earlier, I don't feel like I was as mature enough to take it seriously as far as music goes, so I don't know. I kind of just trusted the timing with how things went, and I'm just going to keep doing that, but
yeah, absolutely.
That's definitely great advice, though, like, that you would give yourself, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, let's flip it kind of. If you could go 10 years ahead of time, where do you think you're going to be in your career? Where do you hope to be?
I hope to be, just being in a position where I wake up every day and my main responsibility is just creating music. I would hope to have a good amount of fans, not for the sake of, just popularity and being able to, benefit financially off of it, but more so just it's a really awesome feeling to have people just truly enjoy your music. Mm-hmm. And they see the things that you really work hard for. So, for example, I work hard to create lines that, I want lines to go over people's heads. I want people to listen to my songs like 2 or 3 times, and then they're like, oh, wait, what? Like, that's what that meant? So, I definitely, could see myself, in 10 years just having a bigger audience that kind of appreciates my music. And, just being able to do this music full time. Definitely, that's where I would see myself.
Awesome. That's great. That's great to hear, though, man. Like, I feel like your head's kind of in where the right place would be, to be honest. So that's dope.
Yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned you were working on, like, new music. What projects do you have coming out? Do you have, like, I don't know if you already said it. I might have missed it. Did you say you have an album coming out or an EP or?
Yeah, so it's an EP. It's an EP that I have that I'm working on. And I can say the name. It's called Amnesia, and that'll be coming out a little bit later in the summer. So that's the concept for Amnesia is just really, I've dropped music on SoundCloud, and I've dropped little things. I've worked on different things. I've dropped music. I've retracted music, but I'm at the point where I really want to build a foundation, especially in terms of streaming services, because I don't have as much music on streaming services. Mm-hmm. So this will be my first project that will be released on streaming services. So I just really want to build a foundation. Just people will really kind of know why I make music and different things like that. So Amnesia is about, not the literal meaning always. So maybe wanting to forget something. Maybe there's something that I wish I had amnesia for, or maybe there were times where I might have lost my way. I might have lost the true meaning of certain things, and amnesia in that regard is, I kind of forgot why I might have been doing something, or I kind of forgot who I truly am. So it's kind of attacking those different perspectives, and just a musical way. So
it kind of has multiple meanings then, right? That all kind of tie together, essentially.
Yeah. It'll be multiple meanings, and at the minimum, I definitely just want it to be, music that people can enjoy, that they can really, even if they don't want to look too deep into the meaning, maybe they just want to hear something that sounds good. At minimum, that's what I want it to be.
Awesome, man. So where can people find you over on social media? I know you have Instagram. Do you have anything else besides that?
Yeah, so I have my main thing is Instagram. In terms of promoting my music, posting videos and stuff like that. Also YouTube. So anybody could just search me up on YouTube. Just type in Chuck Dolo, and that's where I'll post like certain exclusive things if I want people to go over to my YouTube. So I might drop a music video on there, or I might drop for example, I did a video where at my school I just drove around campus, and my homie recorded me. I just opened the window and I just like rap to random people. I'll kind of just improvise and just freestyle about what they're wearing or what hall we're close by. So interesting things like that I'll drop on YouTube. So mainly Instagram, but also YouTube for sure.
Awesome. It's pretty cool that you were getting creative too with like that. I've never heard of anyone doing that specifically. Like,
yeah, definitely. I would say something like that. I definitely drew inspiration from it's a YouTube rapper. He's pretty big. His name is Harry Mack, I think, and he's known for just being nice as a freestyler. Like, he freestyles everything, and he's ridiculous. Like, I wish to be 50% of that skill someday. But I kind of drew that inspiration because he'll go to Venice Beach, he'll go Miami, different things. He'll go to different places and just rap to people. So I thought that was really fun. And people, they don't take you seriously at first until they hear you come up with a clever rhyme, and they're like, oh wait, like this guy's serious.
Yeah, they thought it was a joke until you spit fucking great fire. Then, right?
Yeah, because a lot of unfortunately in this day and age, like a lot of people attempt music for the wrong reasons, and we all know people that, they might rap just because it's a trendy thing right now. So, I feel like that's a lot of people's mindsets. And my goal is to change that perspective about me, and surprise people. And it's also just so fun.
Oh, I love it, man. I definitely love, like, everything you're putting off, like, energy-wise and, like, your reasonings for doing everything. So I really appreciate it. So
for sure. Thank you.
Do you have any final words of wisdom for the listeners? Life advice, anything like that?
Words of wisdom. Listen to my music. No, I'm playing.
That's a good one too. That's a
That's a decent one. It's okay. But just words of wisdom. I would just say, just don't be afraid to really chase your passions. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to, kind of just take that leap of faith sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta focus on, the things you love, just try to be positive and, put the energy where it would benefit you the most, So I would definitely just say, just take that leap of faith, man. Follow your dreams.
Awesome. Well, Chuck, I appreciate it. Again, I want to thank you for reaching out to me and wanting to be on the podcast today. And I'll definitely post all the links to all your socials and your project and everything when it comes out. Send me that when it comes out, too. I want to hear it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that.
Yep. And hopefully we can do this again sometime as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely be in contact. Yep. I appreciate you having me.
Yep. Okay, man. We'll see you later, bro. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. Be safe.
Thanks, everybody, for listening today. We will be back next week. We have a London artist named Maylee who will be joining us. Hopefully Jay's back. I don't know what he was doing. Did he get lost at the grocery store? Was he at work? Who really knows where he really was? But hopefully he'll be back. And until then, we will see you guys next week. And thank you once again for listening.